Republican Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas serves on the Senate Armed Services Judiciary and Intelligence Committees. And Senator, I just want you to listen to one other bit of sound from the Congresswoman, because she is trying to say that there are a lot of people there in Washington as members of Congress that agree with her. Watch.
The new members of Congress are coming with full force and pushing back against this idea around, they rename this kind of militarization or targeting in a very inhumane way of our immigrant neighbors. It is the same thing, which is targeting communities of color in a way that is, to me, very much violates, human rights.
Let's get your take on this, Senator.
Well, Dana, unfortunately, I think she's right. A lot of Democrats do support those radical views. They want to defund the police. They want to turn America into a sanctuary country for all illegal aliens from around the world. And now that logic is being extended to our Border Patrol and Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, even all of DHS. I mean, it'd be interesting to me if Rashida Tlaib would explain exactly who she thinks should be excluded from our country when they show up at our border, irrespective of our laws, or who in America should be deported. I mean, I don't know, maybe her answer would be conservatives or Republicans or anyone who voted for Donald Trump last year. But it seems like beyond that, Rashida Tlaib and most Democrats think that we should have totally open borders and that anyone should be able to come into this country. That is a recipe for disaster.
You joined some other of your colleagues there on the Senate side in sending a letter to the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, asking about this open borders question. Here's Mark Bronovich, from the Attorney General of Arizona. He was talking about the situation at the border as he sees it.
The Biden administration is making a choice between migrants and Americans, and they're telling the wrong people to stay home. They literally are trying to shut down our economy. And I keep emphasizing to folks that the biggest health crisis facing our country today is the Biden administration, because we may have 3 vaccines for COVID, but there's no cure for stupid. And what the Biden administration is doing is just plain dumb.
Do you think that you'll be able to get the attention of the Attorney General?
Well, this crisis is about to get a lot worse, Dana. It is the result of Joe Biden's rhetoric and his policies. First, he promised open borders in the campaign. All those migrants heard it. When I was at the border a few months ago, I spoke to several of them and asked them why they came. They all gave some answer like Joe Biden or I could get in now. Second, he reversed a lot of highly effective policies, most notably the Remain in Mexico policy that required migrants seeking asylum to stay in Mexico, not to come to the country and live here so they could, for years, before they had their claims adjudicated. But now we're about to have a situation where the Democrats are going to pursue amnesty in their coming budget bill. This is the word we've been getting over the last couple of weeks. The Democrats want to include a massive amnesty in that legislation. That will simply act as a bigger magnet for more illegal immigration into this country.
Is that something they want to try to do under that reconciliation bill where they would only need Democrats?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Dana. As they know that Republicans are never going to support some kind of massive amnesty, certainly with our border totally open. But Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden's administration are actively working behind closed doors right now to try to include an amnesty in that budget bill. That's something I'm going to fight to the bitter end to stop, because we do not need a single new illegal alien coming in this country when we're already at a generational high level.
I'm going to pay attention to that, because if they can do that on reconciliation, I think that would probably get a lot of attention. One last thing. So apparently there's a bunch of progressives that are sending a letter to the administration warning them not to be tough on China, because that could hurt the fight against climate change, as if China were participating in trying to help us in that regard anyway.
Yeah, that letter sounds like Chinese propaganda, Dana. You know, the Chinese even have a word for this, Baozu. It translates loosely white liberal. People who are only concerned about things like immigration and the environment, and who are willing to sacrifice American jobs and America's prosperity, willing to look the other way to genocide against China's own people, all for some hope that China might one day reduce its emissions from its factories. We need to crack down on China. They unleashed a pandemic on the world. They've been cheating America's workers for decades. It's time to lower the boom on the Chinese Communist Party, not to look the other way in hopes of climate change promises that are never going to come to pass.
Senator, quite a value add this morning, learning a new word in Chinese, Bozu. I won't forget it. Thank you.